Okay everyone, so this is an AIO. And yes, a lot of people might think that Thermaltake has gone way too far. This is the Minecube 360 Ultra ARGB. So what we have here are four 3.9-inch LCD screens with a resolution on each of them of 720p. Look, like I keep on saying at this show, everybody wants to go big or go home when it comes to LCD screens on all-in-one liquid coolers. I do have some concerns here. While it does look really good, some of the viewing angles are a little bit off. But supposedly this is a very early prototype, and each one of these can project a completely different image, or it can have one image that's broken up into multiple images right across the AIO cover. Now my concerns. First of all, we are now seeing AIO pump head covers get bigger and bigger and bigger vertically. We've already seen some problems where vertical GPUs end up slamming right into pump cover heads that aren't even this big. Basic AIOs, like some of Thermaltake's here, are already slamming straight into those wider GPUs like the Asus TUF series, the Astral series and whatnot. And since this is geared towards those high-end builds where those high-end GPUs are going to be living, that could start to cause some concerns. I talked to Thermaltake about this. They're not too concerned, but if you look at some of their cases, I can guarantee you vertical GPU brackets will start to smash right into these things. Another thing Thermaltake has done is they've looked at usability from an end user perspective. So this whole thing is held on by simple magnets. Now, unlike a lot of other manufacturers, there are no pogo pins in here. You still have this massive cord, but hopefully as this project comes to fruition, they might change that. Another thing that you're gonna see here is something that's becoming prevalent through all of these very, very high AIOs, and that's an integrated fan to cool all of those CPU socket adjacent components. So you might be wondering the price. It's not cheap. They're only gonna be launching 360mm versions in white and black initially. It's $349 US at this point in time. Is this something that you could see yourself putting into your build? I know a lot of people have been passing by here. We actually have to clear space because there's a lot of interest in this, at least locally here in Taipei. But I want to know your guys' opinions. We're gonna move down a little bit here because there are some fans that have this sort of same technology that I do like the look of. These are very much early conceptual fans. This is the Project Edge White, and you can see that same sort of look to the edge of the fans themselves, where they put in a very, very slim LCD. If you think about it, Lian Li did sort of the same thing, but on the fan hub. Thermaltake basically said, look, we're gonna take it to the next level and do something a little bit different. You know what I have to say? If all of these turn black and you have a couple little temperature readouts, that could look pretty interesting. And so critique as you might like to, this is just giving people something else that they can buy if they choose to add a little bit more bling to their builds. Speaking about bling, or maybe a lack of bling, I know that Dimitri has a case that he wants to discuss too.
Now you guys know I love the TR100 enclosure from Thermaltake, and they're introducing new colorways, which is fantastic. We have this gorgeous Future Dusk, which is this mix between like dark purplish, hints of blues. Then we have this Gravel Sand, which is very, very manly, kind of going after the Noctua edition. Awesome design. Bubble Pink, obviously you gotta have the pink in here, and this very bright mint strawberry, which is this tealish green, gorgeous. But aside from the colorways, the TR100 is growing literally in size and in lineup because we have the new TR200. So this thing is based on a very similar layout and a similar mechanical construction of like all the side panels being magnetic, very beautifully and functionally integrated dust filters on all the panels. But the TR200 is now a micro ATX enclosure, accommodating an ATX power supply, 360 at the top, triple 120s at the bottom. It's still a very compact enclosure. It is slightly longer, of course, but otherwise it is a fantastic functional chassis design that works very well when it is expanded. And also because it's now slightly bigger, they have a new display here with the TR200 and 300 models. It's a 6-inch display, really good viewing angles, and it's way bigger. Of course, it's going to be able to display your system information, and it's the same price as what you would be able to find on the previously much smaller 3.9-inch. So at $99 as an accessory, I would say pretty good, especially because now it's bigger. So the TR200 obviously doesn't stop there because we have the TR300, and this thing is just slightly taller than our TR200, but it is full ATX compatibility, which is absolutely insane. Thermaltake is really optimizing the interior layout to possibly cover a little bit of the bottom of the motherboard to give you a very compact chassis. I really appreciate this direction towards expanding the TR lineup that isn't ballooning the enclosures, because normally when you think Thermaltake, you think those gigantic towers that have a lot of kind of wasted opportunities and space. But here they're going exactly the opposite way. Really functional and compact layouts with incredible pricing. So the original TR100 is $169. A lot of that cost is actually with a riser cable, because when we look at TR200, the micro ATX variant, this is $79 because there's no riser cable. So all the tooling is kind of probably is going to be mixed in with what was already in development, so they're allowed to save on a lot of the cost. And the TR300, the ATX version, is $99 because we have no riser cable. So you can actually splurge a little bit if you're looking for an optional screen accessory, which actually looks way better than the one before. And I think this is the perfect direction for Thermaltake to take. Given all the funky colors we have on the TR100, the TR200 and 300 will first launch it with black and white, but more colors will come later. They are showcasing different panels for the TR300. So of course we have that beechwood, which is light, gorgeous for the white enclosure. And interestingly, but check this out, all the wood panels are screwed in, just like we saw with ASUS, which is a much better approach than using glue, because that might come off eventually, not be as strong in a hotter environment. So I'm glad that Thermaltake is thinking about this. And because the panels are so easily removable, potentially you'll have the option to just replace it with something better. I'm happy to see all the funky colors percolate into their new enclosures. This is the View 390 Air Future Dusk Edition, this gorgeous purplish dark blue with a curved glass panel that reveals all your components inside, with front intake, bottom intake, side intake, all the usual stuff. It seems like Thermaltake is one of the few case brands who are trying to experiment with different color options and making cases really fun. It's a butter caramel enclosure. We have matcha green, future dusk, butter caramel. It's a beautiful complement between exterior yellow and interior. So if you're populating anything latest Noctua in here, it looked quite well. What do you think, Eber? You like this? No? I don't think they do it justice with setting the RGB to RGB puke. Yeah. So if you look at the white one, we can see the interior slightly better. It's a more traditional approach to dual chamber design, but we have two 120mm exhaust vents at the rear just because we don't have anything at the top. And I personally like this approach. It's slightly different. We have curves here, we have curves on the right side, and it looks consistent, especially because we have those two massive 200mm fans that are included. And looks like you can install that optional new 6-inch LCD above the motherboard for a little bit of different showcase. And to finish off, let's talk about this new colorway they're teasing, the Mocha Mousse. So brownish exterior panels with a white interior. I think the combination of contrast, I'm constantly asking for more contrast, more color variations. I'm not sure I like this either. What do you think? No? What was your favorite color between what you saw with the TR100? It's going to be so exciting to see this winter dusk, night dusk, this purplish blue get into more enclosures, because Thermaltake is actually doing the smart thing of including color matched fans for some of their color models, which is the way forward. I'm Dmitry, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you next video.